everyone, and welcome back to PropWay. So today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I made the Nano Gauntlet or the Power Gauntlet from Avengers Endgame. So I actually made this gauntlet a couple years ago and I posted it on my old channel, but that channel really wasn't dedicated to props, and since now I have PropWay, I decided it'd be a good time to repost it. And the original video also did not have these LED lights in it. So this video will show you some time lapses and some techniques of how I made the gauntlet. At this point, I do not have a template for it because I built it years ago and I just never made one, but a template for this gauntlet is likely to come out in the future. This gauntlet is mostly made out of EVA foam, but these fingertips were 3D printed pieces that I modeled myself and I printed myself. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. So here, I am just cutting out pieces of foam to get the main structure down of the forearm. A lot of the times, it's definitely not a perfect cut the first time I do it, so there's always trimming and gluing and trimming more and just keep trimming until it makes a perfect fit. And here I'm using contact cement to glue the pieces together. Contact cement is literally one of the best inventions ever, especially for foam makers. Once you learn how to use it, it'll hold forever, and it's perfect for making tight seams and strongholds. The key to using contact cement is you contact cement one side and then contact cement the other side, and then wait maybe 5 minutes or less, and then once you stick it together, it'll hold. So now I'm just kind of dry fitting it to my arm, making sure I have the look and feel that I want for this power gauntlet. And that's a lot of the times when I'm building this stuff, I just freehand it, and since I'm trimming so much off, it's hard to make a template as I'm going, which is why I don't have a lot of templates, or really any, and I know you guys always ask for it, but I'm trying to get better at it, and hopefully for another project I will have it. And here, just adding more contact cement to the bottom of the forearm piece. And just a note for you guys, I don't show every single detail in this video, not because I didn't want to, but because I just forgot to record sometimes because I'm so in the zone. But for the most part, all the major pieces are here. Here I am drawing the back of the hand. Using my own hand to get the right size for me, and then just kind of sketching out what it looks like. While I'm building, I always have a picture of what I'm trying to build, just so I have that reference. And here, just using an X-Acto knife to cut out the foam. It looks like I glued it together already, didn't show it. And here I am just adding pieces to the hand to make that the full hand structure. What was nice about this one was that the Power Gauntlet is a very boxy structure, which makes it much easier than the Infinity Gauntlet, which was more of a natural curves and round edges, which is very difficult to do with foam. And here I'm just sketching out the thumb hole, which will allow me to put it on nicely and dry fit it to my own hand even better. And there there. Looks like I broke my arm. So here I added some details to the hand, and I didn't show it on video, but really it's just, you're just stacking pieces of foam together and just cutting out different shapes, and it's really not that difficult. So now I'm cutting out the rings for the infinity stones. All I did was draw those rectangular shapes with a black Sharpie, and I'm just cutting it out with an X-Acto. And now I'm putting on the contact cement on the gauntlet, and then also the back of the rings. Seriously guys, if you don't use contact cement and you're building with foam, I would absolutely 100% undoubtedly recommend using it. I mean, the only downside is that it smells kind of funky and my sister yells at me for it, but in terms of functionality, it works much better than hot glue. It sticks and holds stronger than hot glue. There's really no drying time besides that 5 minutes that you have to wait, but it's not like you have to hold pieces together while it's drying. Once you stick it together, it'll stick. I don't know if that last sentence just made sense. But here, I am cutting out pieces for the thumb, kind of the thumb guard. Again, looking at photos of the real gauntlet and just trying to freehand and make it look as close as I can to it. And now I'm just sketching in more details, and I will be scoring it with an X-Acto knife to, to get that gap in between. And I just skipped the whole part of it where I spray painted the whole thing red. But that's pretty self-explanatory, and now I'm just adding in some of the silver highlights with a silver Sharpie. For the fingers, as you can see here, I 3D printed each piece. I just modeled it on the computer and then 3D printed it. You can make it out of foam, but I was having difficulties doing it because it wasn't sturdy enough, so I decided to 3D print it. And here are the pieces all put together. All I did was buy a glove from the dollar store, and I spray painted it gold. And then that's what I glued all of the fingertips to. And here I am just adding more detail to the gauntlet. I'm just drawing on the detail, and then I will be scoring it with an X-Acto knife. Not cutting all the way through, but kind of just grazing the surface. And one cool technique is that after you graze the surface, you can heat it with a heat gun, and those grooves will open up and will show more of a seam. Which is a really cool effect because it makes it look like it's two pieces of foam, but really it's just one piece. And then now I use the heat gun to heat up those surfaces, and then those scores will open up a bit. And also, I think heating up the foam kind of seals it a little bit. It removes all the small air particles and gives it more of a solid finish. And then now just adding more silver Sharpie to get the details. And silver Sharpie is one of the most useful tools I use, especially with all the props I make. You can get a really bright silver color pretty much on any surface in any color, instead of having to paint minor details with like a paintbrush, which is extremely difficult to do. And that's really it for this build. I don't think I showed how to put on the infinity stones, but that's pretty self-explanatory. It's just gluing on plastic jewels, or some of them even have a sticky back already. And I will put a link to those stones in the description. And that's really it. So as you saw, when I first made the gauntlet, I just had these plastic jewels glued onto the foam. But when I decided to add the lights to it, I drilled out the back side of these jewels just a little bit, and I stuck an LED to it, and I wired the inside to a 9-volt battery. So now all of these lights are controlled by a switch on the inside of the gauntlet. So now I have a nice little display piece, and it is also wearable, so if I wanted to wear it for a costume or something, I can. So thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, there's a lot more content coming to the channel, so stay tuned. You won't want to miss it. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.